Hello everyone, this is Christina from craftmuse, and today's tutorial is for the mini mermaid. I made my mermaid in the style of Ariel, so meaning I used the colors that Ariel would be, and I'm going to also be doing Ariel today for the tutorial. However, if you want to make a different color mermaid, feel free to do that. You could change up the hair color, be creative with the tail and the top, so use whatever you want. Use whatever you have on hand. I will have a band count in the description box below when this video comes out. And the necessary materials that you will need are a hair color band. So today I'm using red. So you could do like brown, black, you could do rainbow colors, whatever you guys want to use. I use a skin tone for her body and her face. And then here I use the pastel purple. And then here I use the Caribbean green and the teal. So everything is going to stay the same for me. I am going to change up the top, and this part of her tail I will be using the, what are they? I can't remember what they're called. They're a sweets band. I think they're like the spearmint or something like that. So I'm going to be using those for the darker part of her tail. So something like that. Like if you're going to use a different color for the tail, it would be nicer to have like a lighter shade of that color or a different color altogether to use for the top part and for her fins here. So, oh, and then a color for the star if you want to put a star in her hair. And then you will need some polyfill, your crochet or rainbow loom hook, a stitch marker, and then for these eyes I used the 6mm safety eyes. So this is what they look like here, and then they come with the little tiny backings here. So I just felt like the safety eyes worked out best for this design here, and with this size. Her face is pretty small, so I don't quite know how it would look with a larger size safety eye, or if even the regular size pony beads are 9mm. I'm not sure if those would look good on her face, but you could get away with maybe using the smaller pony beads or buttons or wrap bands. So they don't have to be the safety eyes. If you guys don't have them, I know some people have a hard time finding the safety eyes because not a lot of craft stores sell them. So just use what you have, and I'm sure you guys can make it work if you don't have them. So, and then you'll need like a stitch marker. I'm using a C-clip, and you'll also need 2 back bands for her eyelashes, and then I also added some blush, real blush, for her cheeks. So that's going to be it for today that we're going to need. So we can get started on her. So the first thing that we want to make are her arms. And of course we need to make 2 of them. So the arms are going to be in skin tone. So anytime on my cards that you see an ST, that is going to stand for skin tone. Even though I will tell you that I'm using skin tone, if you were wondering what the ST means, that's what it means. So the first thing we want to start off with is the magic ring with 6 stitches in it. So we're going to grab our first band, wrap it around our hook 2 times so that we create 3 loops. I'm going to take another band, pull this wrap band onto it, slide it towards the center, push it down, put the other end up onto my hook, and now I'm going to slide this first band here underneath this one here to create a loose slip knot. Next I want to go through my entire cap band, so you want to go through all 3 of those loops. And then you have this loop over here from before. So you're going to take your next band. Oh, that's not even the right color. You're going to take your next band, bring it through this capping band only. Why does my camera keep going out of focus? So bring it through the capping band only, but leave this band here alone. So just through the capping band, and put the other end up onto your hook. So you should have 3 loops on your hook now. You're going to slide this first loop here underneath these 2 here. Just like that. So that was stitch number 2. We need to do 4 more of these. So through your cap band only, and up onto your hook, and then slide under. So that was 3. So it'll be 4. This will be 5. And this will be 6. So after completing that, what you should have is a total of 6 stitches around. So look for these little V shapes on the sides. So you want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the band that's on your hook counts as 6. So you're going to need a C-clip or a stitch marker now. Sorry, I didn't prepare my C-clip. And you're just going to stick it on the band that's on your hook. If I can get it. Come on. Okay. So now what we want to do, rows 2 through 4, we are just going to be single crocheting all the way around in the 6 stitches. So we need to do a total of 3 rounds of just single crochets. So if you're unsure of what a single crochet is, you're going to take your hook and go through that first stitch there. So you've got your stitch on the hook, and then you've got this band over here. You're going to take another band, bring it through the stitch only, and then put the other side up onto your hook, and then just slide under. So that is a single crochet. Now you're going to move on to your second stitch and do the same thing. So through the stitch only and up onto your hook and slide under. So that was 2. Going on to my third stitch. So that's, oops, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to take this one out here and do my last one. And 6. So you should still have your 6 stitches in. Now we need to do that 2 more times. So we need to go around 2 more times with single crochets. So here's 1. There's 2. There's 3. 4. 5. And 6. So let's repeat that one more time. Just going around. I'm not going to use my C-clip because it gets in the way for this part. Just 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. So that's basically it for her arm. I know it looks a little bit small, but I wanted to make this mermaid kind of like a little chubbier version, like maybe like, I guess you'd call it like a chibi. Just so I wanted to make it look more kawaii, I guess. So she's a little baby mermaid. So now what you want to do is stick your hook through that first stitch there, grab another skin tone band, bring it through all the bands that are on your hook, bring the other end up onto your hook, and then tie that into a slip knot. and then just kind of shape it so that it's a nice shape. So that is one arm. Now if you want to go ahead and pause the video and do the same exact process to make your second arm, and then I'll meet you back here when you're finished with that. Alright, so you should have your two arms, these two little nubbly things. The next thing we want to do is just make her little fins for her tail, and I forgot to tell you in the beginning of the video that you will need one loom. And I decided to make the fins on the loom just because I wanted to make her fins a little bit more sturdy, because when you use Loomigurumi they get kind of floppy, and so I just kind of wanted them to hold their shape nice. So I just figured we'd do that part on the loom. So for this part you're going to need the light, if you're doing like 2 shades of green on her tail, if you're making Ariel, I'm using the Caribbean green for her fins. So, but if you're making like a different color mermaid, just do whatever color you want. But this is the part that we're making right here. So, very simple. Let's see, okay. So the first thing we want to start off with is a single band, and we're going to double loop it. Make sure that you have your loom set up like this to where the arrow is pointing up. You've got your middle pin up higher than the left and the right. So I'm going to take my first band and double loop it and place it from the middle down to the left. Do the same thing on the other side, so double loop your band from the middle down to the right. I'm going to go down 2 with 2 bands each. So I've got my 2 bands. I'm going to go down, here's 1. Go down one more time. Do the same thing on the other side. So 2 bands each. There's 1. And there's 2. Now what I'm going to do is take another single band and double loop it. I'm going to bring it from this pin down here to this pin here. So I'm doing a long stretch here. Whoops, if I can get it. So stretch it all the way down there. And do the same thing on the other side. So just like that. And then I am going to put 2 bands each going down the center. Now, if you guys want to get both of them done at the same time, you can fit your other fin on as well. So you can just repeat this same exact right below this one. So you have all this room down here to do that. So the next thing we want to do is add our holding bands. So these are just going to be double looped bands, and we're doing this in a triangle. So the triangle facing down. And the last one will go right here. So I just have 3 holding bands. Then we're going to take one more band, wrap it around this bottom pin here 3 times. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now we just need to loom this. So I'm going to go into my capping band, grab the first 2. Whoops, I got one. It's been a long time since I've used the loom. So I just loomed up. You can actually just keep going up the center. Do one more here. Now we're going to go back down to the bottom. Grab the top bands. These are double looped, so try to be careful with these because you don't want them to break. So I did that one side, and I'm going to do this other side here. And then I'm just going to loom up on the sides. I'm sure you guys already know how to do this. Okay, now what you want to do is take one band of the color of your fin, go through that middle, bring your band through, if I can get it, and then just tie that into a slip knot, and then you can just pull this off. So you need to make one more of these if you guys haven't already just done both at the same time. Just be careful when you're popping off some of these because they're double looped. Okay, so that's what you should have. Looks like a little leaf. And we can worry about tucking this tying off band in later. So just go ahead and make your second one if you guys didn't already make it, and then we'll continue on. So now let us begin with the actual mermaid. She is all one piece except for her arms that we have to attach separately, but everything else is just one big piece because I don't like attaching parts. So the first thing we are starting off with is the head. So you want to start with the hair color, and then I'll tell you when to switch over to the skin tone. So we're going to start off with a magic ring with 6 stitches in it with whatever hair color you are using. So take your band and wrap it around your hook twice, and we are going to do our magic ring with 6 stitches just like we did with her arms. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 more. 6. So you should have a total of 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and grab your C-clip, place it on the band that's on your hook. The next thing we want to do for row 2 is increase all the way around so that we end up with 12 stitches. So an increase is just 2 single crochets in each stitch. So I'll stick my hook through my first stitch here, and I'll do my first single crochet. Now I'm going to stick my hook back through that first stitch and do another one. Now I'm going to stitch 2. So here's my first single crochet, back into stitch 2. Here's my second. So just repeat that all the way around until you get to your last stitch. 1, 2, it's your 4th stitch, 1, 2, 5th stitch, 1, 2, and then here's my last stitch. Just 1 and 2. So you should have a total of 6 stitches in your circle right now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Did I say 6 or 12? I can't remember, but it's 12. Stick your C-clip back in. We're still using red. For row 3, we're going to be doing a single crochet followed by an increase. We're going to repeat that pattern all the way around so that we end up with 18 stitches. Now remember that you can rewind, pause, rewind, fast forward if I'm going too fast or too slow for you. That's the great thing about YouTube. Okay, so our first stitch is going to be a single crochet. My second stitch will be an increase. So there's 1 and 2. My third stitch will be a single crochet. My fourth stitch is going to be an increase. So there's 1, 2. Fifth is going to be a single. Next one is an increase. Single. Increase. Single. Increase. Single. And then my last stitch will be an increase. So there's 1 and 2. Now you should have a total of 18 stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Next, what we want to do is single crochet around in the 18 stitches. So we're just going to be putting single crochets in the 18 stitches, and this row around is also going to just be in red. So there's 1. Sometimes these C-clips get in the way. Don't want it to fall out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and the last one here, 18. So that is row 4. For this next row, we're still doing single crochets around, but we're going to start incorporating our skin tone in there. So the pattern is, for row 5, single crochet around in the 18 stitches. We have 6 in the hair color, 6 in skin tone, and 6 in hair color. So we're going to start off with our hair color, and we're going to put in 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now what we want to do is switch over to our skin tone color, and we also want to do 6 in the skin tone. So I'm going to stick my hook into my next stitch, grab my skin tone, and because I'm switching colors, I need to do a slip stitch. So I'm going to grab my skin tone band and bring it through all the loops on my hook, put the other end up onto my hook, and then just do a very just do a very loose slip knot. And then I'm going to continue. So I need to do 5 more in my skin tone. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to switch back to the red. And again, we need to do another slip stitch. So go into your next stitch, grab your hair color, bring it through all the loops on your hook, put the other end up, and do a loose slip knot. And then keep going around till you get to your C-cup with single crochets. Just 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So once you finish with that row, we should still have 18 stitches. I'm just going to tell you guys right now that as we do this design, it might look a little funky, especially with their head before we add the hair and all that. And there's quite a lot of fiddling that we have to do with her to get her to look good, but it's not like very difficult things. So it might look kind of funky and you guys might be like, what the heck are we making? That looks nothing like what she made. But trust me, it will turn out just fine. So let's continue on. In row 6, we're going to be doing a single crochet around in the 18 stitches. We're following the same exact color pattern as before, so 6 hair color, 6 skin tone, and then 6 hair color. Okay, so let's start off with 6 hair color. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now what we want to do is do another slip stitch in our next stitch with the skin tone. We're not going to be using the first skin tone color stitch because that is from our slip stitch, so that really doesn't count as a stitch in or round. So you need to make sure that you skip that very first skin color one and go into the next one. Bring your skin tone band all the way through and up onto your hook and do your loose slip knot and just continue around. So that was 1. This is 2. This is 3. 4. 5. And 6. Now we're switching back to the hair color. Again, we aren't going to be using that very first hair color stitch because that is from the slip stitch from the last color change that we did. So skip that first hair color one and go into the next one. Bring your hair color band all the way through and up onto your hook and do your loose slip knot, and then continue on to the next stitch with your single crochets. And now my last one here. Okay. The next row around is row 7, and we're still just doing our single crochets around. Our color pattern has changed a little bit, so we're going to be doing 5 in the hair color, 6 in the skin tone, and then 7 in the hair color. So let's do 5 hair color. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to go into that last hair color stitch, grab your skin tone, bring it all the way through and up onto your hook, and then loose slip knot. So that was 1. Now I'm going to skip this first skin tone band here from the previous row because that's a weird one from our slip stitch, and go into the next one. And that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to go into that last skin tone band, grab my hair color, bring it all the way through, up onto my hook, loose slip knot. I'm going to skip this first hair color band here from the slip stitch and go into the next one and continue around till I get to my seat clip. Put your C-clip in. We'll do our next row. Same exact color pattern, and we're still doing single crochets around. So we're in row 8. We're still doing the 5 hair color, 6 skin tone, and 7 hair color. So let's do that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm switching over to skin tone, but I'm going to skip that first skin tone stitch there, go into the next one, bring my skin tone through all the loops on my hook and up onto my hook, and do your loose slip knot, and then continue around. So that was 1. This will be 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're switching over to hair color. So I'm going to skip my first hair color band, go into the next one, grab my hair color band, bring it all the way through and up onto my hook and loose slip knot, and continue around. One thing I want to remind you guys is when you're doing Loomigurumi, be very gentle with your bands. As you can see, I don't whenever I do a single crochet, I'm not pulling it tight. I'm just very gently doing my single crochets because you don't want to end up with huge gaps, and it just looks wrong when you make everything too, I don't know how to explain it. I guess if you use too much force with your bands. But yeah, when I do Loomigurumi, I just know that you have to be very gentle when doing it. Okay, so go ahead and place your C-clip back in. We're going to do one more row with the color change. So we are on row 9 right now, and we will do 4 in the hair color, and then 7 in the skin tone, and 7 in hair color. So I have 1. Again, this is just single crochets around. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to place my hook into this last hair color band, grab my skin tone, bring it all the way through and up, loose slip knot. So that was 1. And skip that first skin tone band, go into my next one. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I am going to skip that very first red stitch, go into the next one, grab my hair color band, bring it all the way through and up, loose slip knot, and then finish off your round with your hair color. Okay, so yours should be looking something like this. Yours should look something like this. Grab your C-clip. Our next row around is just going to be in the skin tone color. And then once we do this row 10, we're just going to pause for a moment and start adding her eyes. So we have enough space to do that in before we go down, before we start decreasing down to the neck. So for row 10, we are going to be doing single crochets followed by a decrease, and we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around so that we end up with 12 stitches. And this again is all in skin tone. So our first stitch we have to do is going to be a slip stitch to change colors. So bring your skin tone band all the way through and up onto your hook, do your slip knot. So that counts as a single crochet. The next thing we want to do is a decrease. So to do that, I'm going to pick up the front loop. I'm not going to stick my hook through the entire stitch. I'm going to stick my hook just through the front loop of my next stitch and then the front loop of the stitch right next to that, so that I have 2 hair color bands on my hook and I have the skin tone over here. Grab your skin tone band, bring it through the first 2 loops only and up onto your hook. Oh, mine got twisted. And then just do your crochet. So that is a decrease. We're just stitching the 2 stitches together. So I'm going to do another single crochet, and then I need to do a decrease, but I'm not going to include this first skin tone band in. So I'm going to skip that one and get the front loop only of this skin tone and the front loop only of this one. Grab another band, bring it through the first 2 loops only and up onto your hook and do your crochet. I'm doing a single crochet. Now I want to do another decrease, so front loop only and front loop only, band through the first 2 loops, up onto your hook and crochet. Again, single crochet. Now we're going to be doing a decrease, so we're going to pick up the front loop only of this last skin tone.
I'm going to skip that first red band from this slip stitch that we did and pick up the next front loop from the next red band. Skin tone through the first 2 loops up onto your hook and crochet. Back to our single, so single, and then a decrease. Single, and then my last, I'm going to be ending with a decrease. I can get it. Okay, so you should have a total of 12 stitches around now. So I'm going to skip that first skin tone band because that won't count as a stitch. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Next thing that I want to do is just stick my hook through the next stitch, grab another band, bring it through all the loops on my hook, and then tie that into a slip knot, and this will just hold it together while I'm doing the eyes. Get your eyes ready. Now if you don't have safety eyes and you're using wrap bands, you will just want to take the color of eye, wrap it around your hook once, and then wrap it around again, and then you'll slide that onto a skin tone band. And then you will go through holes in the face and just place the, like, bring one end through one side of the face and one end through the other side, and then tie that into a slip knot, and that will secure your eye. And you can do the same thing with pony beads that way. But if you are using safety eyes and you want to add eyelashes, I'm going to add my lashes before I attach my safety eyes. So I'm going to take a black band and just cut so that it's just like a line. So I'm going to cut both of them. And then I'm going to take my safety eye and pretty much just tie this band onto it. So I've got it like this. Now I just want to tie this into, I'm not even tying it into a knot, I'm just doing the first step of a knot. And it doesn't even matter if the ends aren't even, because we're going to be trimming them anyways. But just bring it up as far as you can so that it's as close to the eye as possible. And don't worry if they're, like, you know, crazy looking right now. So you have to do that with both of them. Okay, now we need to place our eyes on her face. So when I'm using safety eyes, I kind of just like to flatten this out a little bit so I can kind of get a better look at where to place my safety eyes. And I am actually, if you see the hairline here, I'm going to go down, so here's one, and I'm going to go down 2. So you kind of just have to play around with your eye placement, and before you attach the backing to your safety eyes, just make sure that they're in the spot that you want it to be. So I've got one eye there, and then I'm going to see how this one looks over, let's see, it might not be like exact, but Okay, so that's where my eyes are going to go. Just make sure your eyelashes are facing or at the top. And then I'm just going to place the back in. It can be a little bit difficult with these teeny ones. Oops. Use your muscles. Ah, there we go. Alright, so there's her eyes. And I'm just gonna clip her lashes. I know it looks funny right now. Just trim them as short as you want. If you're using pony beads, you can just add your eyelashes like I do with my Tsum Tsums. And the same with the wrap bands, you can do it that way. Okay, so there's her little lashes, and we actually want to start stuffing her head right now before we decrease into the neck. You want to make sure you're not using too much stuffing. So just grab a little bit at a time. And you want to shape out her face because of those color changes that we did. Kind of, I don't know, just misshaped her face. Kind of looks weird. So just make sure it's nice and round. But as you can see, I'm only using like a little teeny weeny bit at a time. And I'm focusing on the sides because that's where the shape kind of is off. Which in the end you won't even see anyways because she'll have hair on her head. So just kind of get it nice and round. Yes, her head is very small. She's actually very small until you start adding her hair. Alright, so that's good enough for now. Can always add a little bit more later. So let's continue on. I mean, that's really all we need to do with the facial features. I'll add some blush later on because that doesn't need to be done right now. So take off that tying off band if you put one on. And then just pick up where you left off. So we're going to continue with our decreases, and since we have 12 right now, we want to decrease to 9. So our pattern is going to be a single crochet, followed by a decrease. We'll repeat that all the way around until we end up with 9 stitches. So place your C-clip on the band that's on your hook. The very first skin tone band here we do not want to include in our round because of the color change, so skip that one. So we'll go into the next one and do a single crochet. Our next one will be a single. Try to get that polyfill out of the way. Okay, our next is going to be a decrease. So, front loop, front loop. Try not to pull too hard. I know it's a small space that we're working in right now, but okay, so now I'm back to my single crochets. So here's 1, And here's 2. Now I'm going to do a decrease. Back to my single crochets. One, 2, and then I'm going to end with a decrease. So you should have 9 stitches now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Don't worry, you can play around with her head later on. Okay, so let's move on. So now that we have decreased to 9 stitches, we are now going to increase so that we go back to 12 stitches. So place your C-clip on the band that's on your hook. Our pattern is going to be single crochet, and then an increase all the way around, and you should end up with 12 stitches. So single crochet, single crochet, and then here I'm going to do an increase. So there's 1 single crochet, I'll go back in, and there's 2. I'm going to do single crochet, and then another single crochet, and then I'm going to do an increase. There's 1, and 2. I'm going to do a single crochet, a single crochet, and then my last stitch will be an increase. So there's 1 and 2. So you should have 12 stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now we want to increase some more so that we have 15 stitches. So place our C-clip back in. Now our pattern is going to be single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and then an increase. And we'll repeat that all the way around, and we should end up with 15 stitches. So 3 single crochets followed by an increase. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do an increase here. Back to our 3 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then my last one will be an increase. One and 2. You should have 15 stitches now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Go ahead and place your C-clip back in. Now we are going to start using our top color. So whatever you're using for her top, I'm switching to purple. So go ahead and grab that. So for row 14 and 15, just single crochets around in the 15 stitches, and I am using the purple sweets this time. So go ahead and go into your first stitch, and we need to do a slip stitch since we're changing colors. So through all the loops on your hook and up and loose slip knot. Now just continue around with your top color. Once we finish her entire body, you guys are gonna have some fun with her hair. It's not hard, but it is time consuming. But that's where you can put on the TV and give her some hair, because you might need something to entertain you. Okay, so there's the end of that first row in purple. Now I'm going to do my second one, but I'm going to skip that first purple or whatever color you're using. Go to the next one and start my second round in this color. Okay, put your C-clip in that band on your hook. Trying to think if we should add her arms right now. Let's go ahead and add her arms. So grab your little nubs. I'm going to hope that the C-clip holds on to this. So we have one tying off band here. We want to put another tying off band on the other side, so just put your hook through the other side, grab a skin tone band and bring it through, up onto your hook and tie that into a slip knot, because we are just simply going to tie these in knots to her body. And then we'll do the same thing with the other one. So just go on the other side, stick your hook through, and tie a slip knot on. And you can shape those out later. So I am just going to place mine up here. So I'm focusing in this non-existent neck area. I mean, since she's kind of like, I made her this style, so she's not really supposed to have like a neck, but I kind of had to make it, I don't know, I mean, she is supposed to have a neck, but it's like a chubby neck, I guess, just for the style that I was going for. But I'm going to stick the top one of the first tying off bands close to her neck, and then the other tying off band at the bottom is going to go right where the purple starts. And I want mine to be raised up like this, which is really the only way to do it, because I guess you could have it going down if you just put them like this, brought your tying off bands through like this, so that they would be down, but I like how mine look, how they look up, so that's how I'm going to do it. Actually, I'm going to do it side, so one side will go through here and one side will go through here. Just use your judgment. You can always fix it if it doesn't turn out in the right spot. Well, before we close her up, make your adjustments. And then you just go on the inside. And tie that into a knot. So there's one arm, and her head got all like lopsided and weird looking. And then do the other arm. My 3-year-old is being very loud today. Oh wait, that's every day. It's never a dull moment with him. Okie, arms are on. Very easy. So now we can continue around. So we did our last row of purple. So for row 16, we are now still doing our single crochets, but we're going to be doing it in the skin tone color. So we have to do our color change since we're switching from purple. So going through that first stitch, grab your skin tone and bring it all the way through and do your loose slip knot. And then just do your single crochets to get to the end. My last one here. Stick your C-clip in. We want to now decrease to 12 stitches. So for row 17, we need to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease all the way around in skin tone. So skip that first skin tone band there. Go into your next one and do your single crochet. Go into your second stitch, do a single crochet. Your third stitch is a single crochet. Now we're going to be doing a decrease. Now we're going back to our single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease. There's 1, 2, 3, and then I will end with a decrease here. Place your C-clip in, and you should have 12 stitches right now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. For row 18, we are now switching to the light green, and we're going to be increasing again. So from 12 stitches, we're going to be going to 15 stitches, and to do that, we're going to be doing a single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, followed by an increase. And again, this is all in light green. So we have to do our color change here. So grab your light green or whatever color you're using for like the top part of the tail. So I'm going to bring my band all the way through the loops on my hook, reclaim, and do a slip stitch. So that was 1 single crochet. And then I'm going to do another single crochet in the next stitch, and another single crochet. And then in my next stitch here, I will be doing an increase. So there's 1 and 2. Whoops. That did not count as an increase. Okay, so now I'm going back to my single crochet, and then another single crochet, and another single crochet, and then I will do an increase. So there's 1, and 2. Back to my single crochets. So there's single, 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 whoops, and then here will be an increase in this last stitch here. Yeah. And if you're worried about how this looks just all, I'm not even sure if I said this before, but it does look kind of, you know, I'm going to be adding some rows later on to her top and to this top part of her fin, so it just doesn't look so one-dimensional, just to give it a little bit of pop. So, but we'll be doing that later on, maybe after we've done a few rows of the dark green in the tail. Then we'll add a little bit more detail to her top and her bottom, well, the top of her fin, but it's not anything like special. It's just, you know, to make it look a little better. So now we're going to continue on with our next row. So grab the second color for your tail. For me, I'm just using a different shade of green. And place your C-clip on the band that's on your hook. So now we are on row 19. So what we want to do for row 19 is just single crochet around in our 15 stitches. So we're going to skip that first little stitch there where we did our color change and go on to the next one. And we need to do a color change here, so I'm just going to slide it through all the bands on my hook, reclaim and do my slip stitch, and then I'm just going to continue around with single crochets. And yes, my nails have magically changed to a different color. That is because I had to take a 2-day break from filming this because I had work to do. So just going around. And after this row, we're going to have to do more rows with the same amount of stitches. So here's my last one here. Place your C-clip in the band that's on your hook. So we are doing single crochets around for 4 more rounds in the dark green. So if you guys want to do that, and then meet me back here when you're done. So we're just doing 4 rows of single crochets around. So for rows 20 to 23. Just the same thing, single crochet around in 15 stitches in the darker green, or whatever color you're using. So just keep track every time you finish a row and just mark it off. And then once you've got 4, then meet me back here when you're finished with that, and then we will continue on. Okay, so I have finished my 4 rows around in the dark green. And our next thing that we want to do is start decreasing. So for row 24, we're just going to be doing a single crochet, a single crochet, a single crochet, followed by a decrease so that we end up with 12 stitches. So this is all in the dark green again. So 3 single crochets and then a decrease, and then just repeat that pattern all the way around. So here's 1 single crochet. Here's 2, and here's 3. Now we want to do a decrease. Back to our single crochets. Here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. And then we want to do another decrease. Back to our single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to end with a decrease. So you should have 12 stitches now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Go ahead and place your C-clip in that band on your hook. Now what we want to do is just single crochet in the 12 stitches. So we are on row 25, just single crochet around in the green. So up all the way up until the end, we will be just using the dark green for the rest of it. So let's just do some single crochets. Two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more. And 12. Now I'm going to add some stuffing before we decrease some more. So again, just take a little bit at a time. And start stuffing her tail. Another reason why I made her was so small is my bigger one that I made, her head was so heavy and her neck wasn't supported at all. So it was like flopping around everywhere once I added all the hair and stuff. So it was like super heavy and she was just too floppy. So I figured if I made her a little bit smaller, she'd be a little more sturdy. So okay, go ahead and place your C-clip in once you've got the stuffing in. Okay, so next we want to do is decrease to 9 stitches. So for row 26 we need to do a single crochet, followed by a decrease. Repeat that pattern all the way around so that we end up with 9 stitches. So 2 single crochets and then a decrease. There's 1, 2, and then I'll do a decrease. Whoops. Okay, we're back to our single crochets. So single, single, and then a decrease. Single, single, and then we're just going to end with a decrease. So you should now have 9 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Next we want to just single crochet around in the 9 stitches. So row 27, just single crochets around. And then after that step, we're just going to want to finish adding a little bit more stuffing before we close her up. So let's just do our single crochets first. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more stuffing in there. Okay. Now, our last row, row 28, single crochet followed by a decrease all the way around. So single crochet, decrease. Repeat that all the way around till you end up with 6 stitches. And then we're going to fasten her off. So put your C-clip in. We'll start off with our single crochet. Then we're going to do a decrease. Then a single crochet. And then a decrease. And a single, and then we will end with a decrease. Okay, so you should have 6 stitches even though they're really hard to see right now. So keeping the band on your hook, grab another band of your tail color, bring it through that loop that's on your hook and back up, and then just tie that into a slip knot. And then we're going to use this to close up the gap. So kind of open it up so you could see where the 6 stitches are in your circle right now. And we're just going to be picking up the front loop of each stitch. So here's my first one here. So I'm just going through the top loop only and bringing this tying off band through. And then I'll go through the top loop of my second stitch and bring this through. And you'll just do that all the way around. So if you can only find 4, that's fine, or 5. But even 4 will close up that gap. So once you've gotten it through, kind of place your hands on the tip of the tail and just pull. Like, don't pull on the band only. Make sure you're pushing this down. And then you can tie this into a knot. So just take this band and go through some stitches at the tip of the tail. Bring this tying off band through. And then grab that end that's on the hook through the middle of that. So you can just tie that into a knot. And just kind of fix the shape so it points down. And then you can just tuck this in. I'm just going to take this out. This tying off band off right here because it doesn't need to be that long. Alright, never mind. I'll just tuck it in with that. Alright, so we've got her body pretty much finished with, so we need to add her fin still, and then we'll fix up her, put a little something on her tail and her top, and then we'll get to the fun part, which is the hair. So let's add on her little fins. Put this away. So you're going to want to grab the fins that we made earlier, and we want to tuck these tying off bands in, and I just tucked them into the center chains. So I'm going to go in through like one side of the center and bring it through. I'm just going to weave it, and then I'll go over here, just weave it through, and then over here, just keep pulling it through until you cannot see it anymore. Okay, and then do that with your second one as well. Alright, so the parts where you had your tying off band, that's going to be the part that's going to be the top of the fin. So it's going to be like this on the tail. So these tops here are where we had our tying off bands. So now what you're going to do is grab your darker green color, whatever color you used for this part, grab one band, put it on your hook, grab another band, pull it through and up, and then tie that into a slip knot. Now what you want to do is place your fins next to each other. You're going to go through the top of the fins, through some stitches in the top. So stick your hook through there, and then on the other fin as well, so that it looks like this on your hook. And then grab your long tying off band and just pull these fins onto it. And then of course you want to center it. Without breaking it. So then it should look like that. And then what you're going to do is pull one end through this side of the tail. So I'm just going to go, so here's your tip. Here's the tip of the tail. I'm just going to go on one side and pull through one end. And then I'm going to go through the other side, pull through the other end. Actually, this one needs to go a little bit further back. Just like that. And you can take this and tie it in a knot. My favorite way of attaching things. tying it in a knot. And then it's nice and secure, and you can just tuck these in to the inside of the tail. So just go as close as you can to the tying off band and pull it through. All right. Now let's just add a little bit of detail to her tail and her top, and then we'll do the hair. Okay, so just now to add a little bit to her tail, I am going to go and start from the back, and I'm going in a stitch where the skin tone meets the light green. And I'm going to grab a light green band and bring it through and back up onto my hook. And then I'm going to do a slip knot, like a loose slip knot. And then I'm going to go into the next stitch next to that. Grab another band, bring it through and up so that I have the 3 loops on my hook. And then I'm going to grab another band. Wait, what am I doing? After you do your first initial slip knot, we're not doing any more, going through any more stitches. I'm like changing this up for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to take another band and chain 1 to this first slip knot that I made. Then I'm going to take another band, and I'm only going to bring it through this first loop here and up onto my hook so that I have 3 loops. And then I'm going to bring a band through all of them. So repeat that again. I'm going to chain 1 and then bring my band through this first loop only and up onto my hook, and then bring it through all. Just keep repeating that. So we're going to chain 1, band through the first loop only and up onto your hook, and chain 1. So you're just going to keep continuing this until it meets all the way back around. So I chained 1. Wait, did I chain 1? No. Okay. So now I'm going to chain 1. Bring my band through the first loop only and up onto my hook. And bring my band through all. Chain 1, band through first loop only, and through all. Chain 1, band through first loop only, and I'm going to measure real quick. And through all. So I think I'll do one more set and I should be good. So going to chain 1, band through first loop only, and through all. Now let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's fine. Even if you went a little bit over where you first started off, it's okay. So then now what you want to do is to attach this. If you went a little bit further than your first slip stitch stitch that you placed in, just stick your hook in an area where you're going to be closing this off. So you want to go in through, sorry, I am improvising this right now because I did something different in my other one and I didn't like it. So when you want to close it off, just go through a loop in the actual mermaid tail and then slide it through all the bands on your hook and fasten it off. And then you can just tuck this in. You guys don't even have to do it this way if you don't want. You can leave it as is, or, you know, add whatever kind of detail you want. This is like a last minute change. So I just kind of made it look a little, you know, more frilly. Next thing we want to do is add a little bit more to her top. So what I did with this Ariel is I just put like a chain, like I did a single chain of stitches on the top of her top. So I'll show you how to do that because I'm just going to do the same thing. Of course, when I showed my husband this, the first thing he said to me was, "Doesn't Ariel have shells for her top?" I'm like, yes, but this is a baby Ariel and she's too small to make shells. So to make it a little bit, to stick out a little bit more, if you go through like if you go through like a stitch like we usually do when we lay in a single chain around, it's gonna lay kind of flat. So what I did was right here, I don't know if you can see this, but you have two bands that are kind of going horizontally. So I'm just going to pick up one of those bands and stick my hook through it, which is where we create the slip knot when we do the crochet. I'm just picking up one of those bands. I'm going to take another band and bring it through. Don't pull this like band area too much because it's going to do something bad to your design. So I just pulled it through and then I'm just going to do like a little loose slip knot. So I'll go in through my next one here. I kind of squeeze it so I can find it, or so that I can access it a little bit easier. Just make sure you're not pulling it when you're going in through those. Just be gentle. Bring it through the stitch only up onto your hook and then do a crochet. Now I'm going to go through the next one. Bring your band through the stitch only up onto your hook and crochet. So as you could see, I'm not pulling this at all. I'm hardly moving my hook at all because I don't want to ruin the stitches. So just go around until you get back to where you first started. These are just single crochets. And then you can add a bow if you want. I'm going to add a bow. I'm so looking forward to doing this hair. Obviously, I'm not going to do all of the hair with you guys, because then we'd be here for like 3 more hours together. Just kidding, it doesn't take that long, but I don't think you want to watch me do that. Okay, so I'm back at the beginning. So I'm just going to go into my first stitch that I made, grab another band and bring it through all the loops on my hook and tie that into a slip knot. And then of course we're going to tuck this in. I'm going to tuck it in the purple area because it might show in the other areas. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a little bow to the center. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just wanted to. I just use my loom for this basic bow that I'm going to be making. So I'm just using the same purple. And I'm just going to lay about 5 or 6 bands. And then I'm going to lay 1 band on the pin right above it, go under all those bands, grab the band and bring it, whoops, grab the band and bring it up, then go at the bottom, pick up the bottom band through the top one, pull the top one off so that you created a slip knot. And then once you've got that pulled tight enough, you can carefully lift these off of the pins. Don't pull them too hard, otherwise they will be uneven. And then you can just wrap this band here around your bow, around the center. So just like that. And then I'm just going to stick my hook through the back of the bow, through some of these bands. Grab another purple band, bring it through. Uh-oh, did I grab a different? Hold on, I'm messing up. What is going on here? What in the world? What am I doing, guys? Because the bands like stick to each other, so when I try to pull through that one band, it's like pulling all the other ones. Let me try that again.
Maybe I'll use an opaque band for this part. Whoops.
All right, there we go. So once you've successfully placed that band through the back, then you can tie this on to the center of her top. So place it where you want it. Go through some stitches in the top on one side and bring through one end. I'm going to keep that end on my hook. Then I'm going to go right next to that and grab the other end and pull it through that stitch and through this, what's it called? The band that's on my hook. So that I pretty much just slip knotted it on that way. And then you can tuck this in. Alright, now I have a bunch of polyfill everywhere. So, we've gotten this far. Now we just have to do the hair. So let's get started on that. Grab a bunch of hair color bands, whatever you're using. And let's begin the most fun part in the entire video. Okay, so Ariel's hair, let's do this. Get a bunch of your hair colored bands and we're just going to start adding hair to her head. So this is pretty much going to be up to you how you place your hair. I'm not doing it any certain way or anything. I am going to lay a few strands in the front of her face just to kind of get like a foundation of how I want her hair to lay. So that's how I'm going to start. Let's see, how do I want to do this? So I'll probably start maybe here in the, like a couple of stitches up from where her hair, where the red is. I'm gonna maybe go up to here. And I want her to have kind of some bang. Not like a lot of bangs, but I don't want her hair just to be like plain in the front. I want it to kind of go by her eye. So I'm just going to pick a spot. See, I kind of want it to swoosh down over here. So I'm going to pick a spot over here. So it's not in the center, but it's more towards the left. And then I'm going to grab my first band and bring it through and up onto my hook. So basically we just want to make a chain. So grab another band, chain another one, and you can do this any way you want. You don't have to do it exactly how I'm doing. So I'm just chaining until I get to a point
that's about over here. So right below the eye is where I'm chaining to. So I'll probably do, let's see, that's probably good. So I did my first initial band here, and then I chained an additional 4. And then I'm just going to stick my hook over here in the face. Grab another band, bring it through all the bands on my hook, just like that, just so it sits where I want it to sit. And then I'm just going to continue my chain for as long as you want to make her hair length. And that's basically all the hair is going to be, are just a bunch of chains attached to her head. So it's pretty simple, just time consuming. So make it as long as you want. Ariel has pretty long hair, but if you're limited on bands, then you could probably get away with, I don't know, just use your judgment. Okay, and then once you've got your length that you want, just chain 1 and then tie it in a slip knot. So there's my first initial piece, and then I'm going to lay another one. I'm going to start right in the hairline, right where the red starts, in the center. I'm going to grab another band, pull it through and up onto my hook, and then I'm going to start my chain. And then I'm going to go into the head, because I want this to kind of swish down too. I don't know how to explain it. And then once I attach that one piece to the head, I'm just going to keep chaining. And I'm going to tie off here. Okay, so now I'm just going to start filling all this in. Now when I did my first mermaid, I think the reason why it took me 2 packs of bands to fill her entire head was because I didn't use the hair color bands when I first made the shape of her head. This was all just skin tone, so there was no hair color incorporated in my rounds when I did the shape. So I had to really fill all of the spots and spaces with the hair color with chains of bands, and so that took a lot to, so that there wouldn't be any gaps and so you wouldn't see any part of her scalp. But since we added the red in to the shape, you should be able to get away with not having to fill every single spot with hair. So like for this one, instead of leaving some of the hairs loose, like this one here is just attached to the head and then it's like a free chain, some of them are actually attached
to the bottom of the head. So I started at the top and attached towards the bottom so that I could just do lines here instead of having to fill each row with free chains here. I don't even know if that makes any sense, but depending on how you want to do it, if you just do a bunch of these kinds of chains where they're not attached to the bottom of the head, you're going to have to do more this way. But if you start and at the top and then attach towards the bottom and then continue on with your chain, then you'll have to do less. So I'm going to do that, and it kind of makes the hair sit better when you do it that way as well. So I'll kind of show you what I mean when I do that. So I'm just going to pick a spot over here next to this first chain that I made in the head, and I'm going to start chaining enough till I get down to about here where the red stops. Yeah, I added too many, sorry. So about to there. And then I'll just stick my hook in the face somewhere, grab another red and bring it through, and then finish my chain with however long I want her hair to be. Whoops. Okay, now I'm just going to start another one over here. So I'm going to do a chain. Messing up here. And then I'm going to stick this in the head. Grab a band and bring it through all onto my hook, and then chain the rest of the length. So hair is very simple, and it's kind of a way to make it unique by giving her a hairstyle of your own. So that's basically what you want to do, is just keep on adding more and more chains just to cover all of her hair. Now if you want to add a little bit of variety with this, it might kind of make her hair a little bit crazy, but you can add some slip knotted bands. So like if I want to add one here, usually I'll add the slip knotted bands like in the center of some of the chains that I already have. So I'll just stick my hook through, bring my band through, and then slip knot it, and then slip knot some more bands together. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So it just kind of adds a little bit of variety to her hair, makes it kind of wavy looking. And if they're getting kind of crazy with these slip knot bands, if you're adding them, you can just pull them through one of your chains to make it sit the way you want it to. So I know it looks kind of weird right now, but once you're finished putting all your hair on, then it will look good. So we shall continue on with this process. I'm not going to do all of it on camera, but I'll kind of, you know, come back and show you like a progress of how my hair is going and continue on that way. So I'll do a few more here on camera. Now I'm going to add some more chains on the, what side? The left side now. So let's see, I'm going to go here. See, I'm going to have to add another chain there because I don't like how this one is sitting. So I would suggest watching like a video or like a movie or your favorite TV show, or listen to some music while you're doing this. Definitely make the process go by a lot faster. And if you've got some wild and crazy hairs, you can always just pull chains through one another to kind of style it the way you want it. With rubber bands, hair is going to get crazy, so just got to be prepared for that, to do some fixing up. Ariel has kind of this bang, nice bang wave. I don't know how to explain it, but make your hairs all different lengths. It doesn't have to be all one. You can have some longer, some shorter. Give her some layers. I realize that quite a few of my videos you have to play hairdresser in. So now, like, let me show you what you could do if you don't want to attach the chains towards the bottom of her head. You would just stick one in and chain however long you want her hair to be. And that's it. So you can do all your hair this way, or you can do half of it attached to her head and half of it like a free chain, however you guys want to do it. Just play around with it. You can always take it out if you placed a hair that doesn't look right. Just remember, there is no specific way to do this. This is based on what you guys like. You can even make her have short hair. Give her a bob. Put it in a ponytail. Whatever you fancy. So there, that's just kind of a loose one there. So I'll probably add a few of those, as well as the ones that are attached to the bottom of the head, because the loose ones kind of give a little bit more body. So yeah, her hair is crazy right now, but I'll fix it. So I'm going to continue on with my hair, and then I will come back with a progress video to show you how it's coming along. So have fun, guys, doing the hair, and I will meet you back here in a minute. Alright, so I'm about halfway done with my hair, and it's looking crazy right now. So let me show you how I'm going to kind of try and style the front area of her hair, just in case yours is looking kind of crazy like this. So what I want to do is kind of get these pieces out of the front and more towards over her shoulder, just because, well, I mean, this one would look okay like that, but like some of these pieces are just really crazy right now, and I want them to lay a little flatter. Sorry, that's a jet flying over. So like, say this one, I don't like how this piece is laying, so I'm just gonna bring it through a chain right next to it. Just gonna pull it through. That way it kind of just lays where I want it to lay. So you'll, like, say you wanted to bring this one more towards the over the shoulder, then you would just take this band and pull it through like some chain, like say I'll just pull it through this chain right here, right next to it. And that way it kind of just changes the direction of where your hair is going. So yes, you're gonna have some crazy hair, but you can fix it up to make it look a little nicer. So like this one, I'm just gonna put in a chain just to get it to lay flatter. So this side is pretty tame now. Now I'm just going to do this side as well. I don't like how these two pieces here are laying, so again, I'm going to bring them through. A chain to position them the way I want it. Her face is getting all distorted right now. And not liking how these bangs turned out. So yeah, that's just kind of a little way that you can get your hair where you want it. So I'm going to keep continuing on with my hair, and then I'll be back when I am finished with it, and then I'll show you how to stick in to make a star for her hair. So continue on, everybody, and I will meet you back here. Alright, then I am finished with her hair. Now if your Ariel's face or your mermaid's face got kind of deformed, just make sure you shape her back, squish her down a little bit. And then I'm going to add some cheeks to mine. So I'm just using blush, Real Makeup Blush. So I hope your guys' hair came out fine. I'm sure it did. You guys didn't have too hard of a time with it. It's not hard, it's just takes some time, but it's actually not too bad. Okay, so I added a little bit of blush to her, and now we want to make a little star for her hair. So grab whatever color you'll be using for your star. I'm just sticking to yellow again. So I'm going to take a yellow band and wrap it around my hook once, and then grab both bands and wrap it around again. You're going to grab one single band and double loop it and pull this capping band onto it. Slide it into the center, push it down, and put the other end onto your hook. Make sure that that capping band is in the center. I'm going to take another single band, double loop it, and pull this onto that in the center. Push down and place on your hook. Make sure that these are centered. I'm going to push this down onto my hook for now because I need to make 4 more of these. So wrap around your hook once, grab all of them and wrap around again. Take a single band, double loop, pull this capping band on, slide towards the center, push down, put the other end onto your hook, grab another single band, double loop, and pull this on, slide to the center, push down and onto your hook. Make sure you center these. Push that down onto your hook, and let's make 3 more. Whoops. Oh my gosh, it is so hot this week here in California. I am like seriously so looking forward to the colder weather. It's so hot here and very, like, well, for me it's humid. I know it's humid in other places a lot worse than here, but I absolutely hate the humidity. And then add it with heat and it's even worse. Okay, so I need to do 1 more. Whoopsie. Okay, so you should have a total of 5 of these. Now what you want to do is take a single band and pull all of these on. Push them down and grab the other end. And then you're just going to tie that into a slip knot until the center closes up. Then I'm just going to go in through the center of this, grab that tying off band, and pull it through just so it's in the center. Now take your mermaid and place it to wherever you want. She kind of looks like Dolly Parton. I think her hair is Dolly Parton, Ariel. So basically what I just did was I just pulled this through in the hair somewhere because I was lazy and did not want to slip knot it. But so far it's been staying in pretty good. So you guys can slip knot it in if you'd like, but I'm just going to give it a nice tug. And that's it. Slip knot it in if like people are going to be messing around with it, touching it, playing with it, so it doesn't come out. But I just decided to do that just because. So there's her Ariel. There's the back of her. I could have probably added a little bit more hair back there, but it's fine. So both of mine look different because of I didn't do like the same bangs on this one. But here they are. And I hope you guys had fun making her, and I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with, because of course you don't have to make Ariel and you can use different colors to make her awesome. Add some rhinestones or beads to her tail or her hair. Make her pretty, make her fabulous. And so if you would like to share yours with me, you can find me on Instagram at christina.davis, or you can find me on Facebook at craftmuse. I will try to remember to leave the link in the description box below for both of my Facebook and Instagram, but if you can't find it there, like if I forget like I normally do, then if you click on the homepage of my YouTube channel on the banner, you can just press either the Facebook or Instagram icon for the direct link to both of my pages, because I really look forward to seeing what you guys make from my channel, and it's really what makes this whole thing worth it. So please consider taking the time to share your creations with me. So that's it for today, and I will be back with more tutorials. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and liking my videos and following me on Instagram and Facebook. You guys are awesome, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!